Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to start collecting Warhammer 40,000 boarding patrols, and today we're going to take a look at the Aeldari boarding patrol, which is soon to be released by Games Workshop. Now we're going to go through the contents of this box set and take a look at what all the units we have inside it can do and how said units can be built, before having a look at some other units we can use to either expand upon this force or create some alternate options for us to play some different games with a boarding patrol army. Now at the end of the video we'll show you a little sample army list of 500 points using this box set as the core for our boarding patrol force to hopefully give you some inspiration for starting your own boarding patrol army for the Aeldari. Now, to start with, first of all, we get Jane Zar. Jane Zar is a named character for the Aeldari. She is one of the many Phoenix Lord models. So, she is the Phoenix Lord of the Howling Banshees, which we also get in the box set, and we'll talk about them in just a sec. But her big thing is she's weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 6 wounds, 6 attacks, and a 2-up save. She's got the acrobatic rule, where if this model is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced, each time an attack is made against this model as well, you subtract 1 from hit rolls against her. She also puts out an aura to all Howling Banshees within 6 inch that add 2 to their leadership characteristic, and they'll also gain objective secured. Now, she is a Phoenix Lord as well, so she's got some cool rules that will help her, be much more survivable there due to being a Phoenix Lord, but she does carry a couple of cool different weapons and war gear as well. So the Blade of Destruction has either a piercing strike or sweeping blow attack. You effectively, on the sweeping blow, you'll get more attacks, but the piercing strike will be your stronger one at +2 strength, -3 AP, damage 2. You can also throw the Silent Death as well, which is the giant shuriken she has. Assault 6, strength 6, -3 AP, damage 1. Now, Terror's Lament is her particular Banshee mask. Each time you select an enemy unit as the target of a charge made by the bearer's unit, that enemy unit cannot fire Overwatch or be set to defend against the charge. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of the bearer, you subtract 1 from attack characteristic of models in said unit, and that enemy unit is not eligible to fight until all other units have fought for that phase. She's really good. Once she gets in, she can really do some damage because she's pretty much always going to get to hit first. Now, joining her, we do have, her particular aspect troops, which are the Howling Banshees, and we get 5 of these. They're an elite choice for the Aeldari. Now, Howling Banshee's basic weapon is the Banshee Blade, +1 strength, -4 AP, which is pretty nice, and 1 damage. Their base strength 3, so this is, their little weak spot, but they're going to be +1 strength. So strength 4, not terrible, but not great either. Howling Banshee masks are very similar, except there's no -2 attack aura around them, unlike Jane Zar. They do have aspect armor for a 5-up invuln, whirling death as well. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, if they declare a charge, they get +1 a wound, and they're also -1 to hit, and they can run and charge as well, thanks to their acrobatic rule. Now, the Exarch of the unit, which is sort of the unit's leader, Exarchs are like a little bit better than most other squad's leaders, but the Exarch here is going to have an extra wound and an extra attack on top of the rest of the unit, and they can take a variety of different weapons. So the Exarch can either have the Executioner, +2 strength, -3 AP, damage 2, or it can choose to have a Triskill as well, where it will have a nice shooting profile and a melee profile. So the Triskill is their Exarch's version of the Jane Zar Shuriken, so just a little bit of a lesser version of that. Now, joining Jane Zar and the Howling Banshees, we have 20 Corsairs. I think Corsairs are really interesting. They can be built as either an elite choice called Corsair Voidscar, where you get a variety of different upgrade options. You can choose to have units in there that can make them a Psyker. You can get a variety of different special weapons. Your Shade Runner as well. While the unit contains the Shade Runner, each time the unit finishes a charge, you can select an enemy unit with an engagement range, and it will do some mortal wounds. You also never suffer from Perils of Warp on said Psyker. Reavers of the Void, each time a unit in this model makes an attack, a modified 6 automatically wounds the target, which is really nice. They've just got, so many other models. They can get a 4-up invuln on the unit sergeant with a mist shield. Fauchus can help them get stopping enemy units using the light cover, and they can have a variety of different weapons. Wraith cannons in there, Aeldari paraswords, paired Hekatari blades, Corsair blasters and shredders. They've got so many options, such a really versatile unit. Now they also can be built as the Corsair Void Reavers, which are the troops choice. Effectively, they just don't get all the special units. They still have a Corsair Void Reaver Felark, which is the champion, so he can have all his cool upgrades, and they can have the nice special weapons in there as well, like the Shredder and Blaster. Now, if we're looking at where to go next for the Aeldari, I think trying to find some different options for those combat units is an interesting lot. Storm Guardians, for me, are the first place to go. For me, they're, nice and dirt cheap. Now, the Storm Guardians here, they can have a variety of different special weapons, from flamers, fusion guns, and even some power swords in the unit as well, 2 for every 10. What's really cool is when you split this unit up into boarding patrols, they still can have their Serpent Shield, which will give them a nice 5-up invuln. You just split the Serpent Shield off with one of your 2 boarding parties. Other than this, they've got the Stormblades, where each time this unit makes attacks and melee attacks against an enemy unit within a range of objective markers, they can reroll hit rolls of 1, which is pretty nice as well. Now, I guess we've looked at a cheap additional combat option we can take, but the Wraithblades here are going to provide you with a much more sort of solid option of an elite choice. They're definitely, a lot tougher than some of your other options we've talked about already in the video. So, Wraithblades, their big thing, if they choose to go with a couple of different weapons, you've got 4 shields for a 4-up invulnerable save, which is nice. You've got the Ghost Axe or Ghost Swords. The Ghost Axe have damage 2 and AP -3 at +2 strength, or the Ghost Swords, here you go, they'll have +1 strength, AP -3, damage 1, and they'll have the ability to make 2 additional attacks with this weapon when they attack, which is pretty cool. Now, if they are having Ghost Blades, or Ghost Swords, they can't take the Force Shield, so it's either the Force Shield and Axe or the Ghost Blades, so more attacks or, the nice 4-up invuln, but either way, they are Wraith constructs, so they're always going to be -1 damage to hit. Now, Aeldari boarding patrols are nice in that they can take a heavy support slot, but it must be a Dark Reaper unit, so we'll talk a little bit about the Dark Reapers, which are one of the interesting units they can bring along. Dark Reaper's big thing, they've got the Reaper Launcher, which can either be a Star Shot for heavy 1, strength 8, -2, AP, damage 3 at a 48-inch range, or the Star Swarm, where they get a heavy 2 shot, but it goes down to strength 5, -2 AP, damage 2. The X-Archer can take a couple of different special weapons, Aeldari Missile Launcher or his Tempest Launcher, which is heavy 2d6 indirect fire and blast, which is pretty cool for a boarding patrol game. Now, the last one is Warlocks. Warlocks are interesting in that you can take them in any size unit you want. They can be in 1 to 5. They are effectively mini psychers. Some of their psychic powers have had an increase in points cost, but for me, they're just a really nice fun unit to bring to the table. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, we've spent 499 points. We've got 1 point spare, but not really a lot we can do with it. Janes are obviously they're leading the force. And then our troops, we've gone for a unit of 5 Corsair Void Reavers with a Shredder. And that's it for them. Other than that, we've got the Elite, which will be the Corsair Voice Guard, and we have tooled this unit up to the 9. We have 3 Corsair Voice Guard with the Aeldari Power Swords, or 1 with a Ranger Long Rifle, 1 with Shuriken and Fusion Pistols, 1 with a Wraith Cannon, the Foul Shoot in there as well. We then also got the Shade Runner, Soul Reaver, and the Voice Guard Felark with Mist Shield, and then we've got the Wayseeker in there, who's got the Psychic Power Guide. Now, this is an interesting one. Doom and Guide normally are the 2 psychic powers you see a lot of Aeldari take. Doom, however, requires your opponent's unit to be targeted. This means you need to already be visible, which with the corridors can be a little bit harder. When you're looking at psychic powers, I like psychic powers that can be cast on your units better, and that's why I like Guide over Doom in this instant, because what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to cast it on your unit, then move around the corner and shoot, where you would already have to, the turn before, set up or wait for your opponent to come around the corner with something like Doom. Howling Banshees, we've just gone the Executioner on the X-Arc there. Other than that, stock standard, 499 points, 22 power level if that's how you like to play. If you are playing boarding patrols and you want to use power level, 25 is about the right way to go. So, yeah, if you've been playing some games with Aeldari and boarding patrols, if you like this box, let us know your thoughts and comment on it down in the below. And so that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and why not consider joining our Patreon or YouTube members on the channel as well. You can find the link to both Patreon and YouTube members, and indeed our merch stores on Teespring and Ko-fi down in the video's description. As a special thank you to everyone for supporting us on Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kendall, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Conomos, Colorblind Magic, Daniel Etherington, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, James Tillman, Dylan Areno, and Gargamel196. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for our channel, and indeed to everyone who helps come on and do battle reports, and to all the people who help run our Discord server. Thank you all once again, everyone, for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.